Is everything working? Yes, it is. Welcome back to another episode on Grouse 4x4, and this time what I'm doing is I am going through my spares that I carry in my box for the trip that we are about to go on. I'm sure you would have seen little bits and pieces on socials already. Me, Tyler, Berto and Laken are doing Tasmania for 2 weeks. So what we'll do is we'll start with tools. I have my tool roll, a hammer, deep impact sockets, circlip pliers, shifter, just all your little bits and pieces that you sort of need. It's easy having a tool roll rather than carrying around a couple of containers. I have my rattle gun behind the seat. Other tools, I got a big dog shifter. This goes all the way up to 60 mil. The reason I've got this, panhard, lock nuts, anything you sort of can't get to with, you know, a normal size shifter. I got the 60 mil one. It's got some snips which just cuts, you know, cables or strips cables, zip ties, all those bits and pieces. A Stanley knife, you never know, you may need it for something. Pack of Allen keys. There's lots of different little bits and pieces here and there that you may actually need this for. Just handy to have, taking up very little space. Got the 54 mil hub socket for the front end of the cruisers. So they actually use a lock nut on the front, a double nut, which is a 54 mil. So carry that around with me everywhere. And then I also have this one here, which I got on online auto parts. It's a 3-prong system. It's actually designed for your rear axles on your cruisers. Good for tightening up wheel bearings and all that sort of stuff, in case you ever need to do any of that on the run. I do have just 2 blocks of timber here. That's for my jack or anything else that I need to put somewhere to make sure it's all leveled out. And having big tires too sort of makes it hard sometimes. The jack doesn't quite reach. So a couple blocks of timber goes a long way. We got 2 packs of zip ties, random assortment zip ties. Now these things here will get you home. Zip tie the world, baby. Zip tie the world. Other little bits and pieces. So this box here, it's an old screw box. It's pretty heavy because it's got all the random nuts and bolts that I've taken out of my car, or, you know, I've got new parts and the new parts come with nuts and bolts. And when they come with nuts and bolts, I just put all my assortments actually into this box. It's also got some spudgy in it, hose clamps, random bolts. I've got screw extractor drill bit kit, super handy to have. Random seals as well, some little bushes, radiator cap. It's got some split pins in there. Just heaps of random bits, like a star washer for your front hubs. Just small bits and pieces that actually do come in handy. And if they don't work on a Toyota, they may work on other cars that potentially need bolts. This little box here is actually all my little electrical connections. So I've got a whole heap of fuses. I got the 2 types of fuses. I got a wire wheel in there. I got some P clamps. I've got heaps of like eyelets and male and female connectors in different sizes. A couple little screws in there. I've actually got a bit of spare wire or cable in case I need to just, you know, jump something or start something here and there. So I got that. More tape. I got some fencing wire, a little bit of fencing wire in there. And then I have, I'm not exactly sure what they're called, digital multimeter. I got a little multimeter. So I've got that little electrical connection box just there for, you know, random bits and pieces. It's easy to carry, it fits, and it's very well organized, so I'm not looking for bits and pieces. That's just a box from my J car. I took a couple slots out just to put the electrical things in that. Hey. Hey. Oh, I didn't hear.
We're gonna go inside.
Go eat your toast, remember? We'll go to our next little part that we've got over here and just keep eliminating things. I got a couple of radiator hoses. Online auto parts again, I brought these a while ago. These are a part of my spares box that have always been in there. Just in case I blow one or I blow a hose, I'm sure I could probably make this work to fit certain angles if they're not 100% correct, but they're cheap enough to buy and just chuck into the spares box. They take up little to no room, and it's just easier to get yourself out of trouble if you have some radiator hoses. Then I also have a belt here. So this is to go to my alternator to harmonic balancer and tensioner. It's a spare one. I actually brought 2 new ones, and then I just took the old one off and just have it as a spare, because if anything goes, easy enough to chuck one of them back on and then you've still got power. We'll go to our fluids. So I just carry some brake fluid, clutch and brake fluid, a little container of it, 500 mil, super easy, super handy. You might lose a bit on steep angles and stuff, or you might burn through it, you might get a leak, you might break a brake line and you have to crimp it. Which, another little tool I have actually in my tool roll is I carry little vice grips. They're about yay big, they're not even as big as your hand. The reason I carry them, one, that I use them at work anyway, so they're handy for me because I'm used to using them. But if you do a brake line, you can actually crimp that brake line and then you'll still have brakes to the other three wheels, or just rear brakes or just front brakes. I've had to do it before, so it's handy just carrying that around. I've also helped someone out on a track before with a set of vice grips. When they did a brake line, we crimped it and then you kept driving. That way you can drive home. So that's also why it's good to have brake fluid, because if you have a leak and you got to crimp it, you got to need to top it up, and that's what this is for. Power steering fluid. If you don't know LandCruisers or 80 series, you wouldn't know that they leak power steering fluid pretty commonly out of the reservoir. Rather than running it dry and burning everything out, carry yourself a little bit of power steering fluid. Same thing, small little container, nice and easy. Well, the next and last fluid that I have here, I got a litre of oil. The same oil that I use in the car. When you push your car hard or you full drive it hard and, you know, sit on the limiter, or not limiter, but you sit in high RPMs when you're full driving, you will burn a little bit of oil. And if you burn oil and you run it dry and then do it, you're gonna fuck your motor. Fuck your motor, you're in trouble. We got our stock drive flanges. They are precaution in case I blow endless amounts of hubs. Everything here sort of takes up small room, and the reason it takes up small room is because it's just the parts that I sort of need. Anything big and extravagant past this, then that's when I'll go wherever I am, jump on Marketplace, put up a story, see what we can do to find the bigger parts that we need to get us out of trouble. But a lot of this stuff here you'll be able to use just to get yourself out of trouble to get home, or back on the track and running at full potential as well. I have a rod end, that's a GU rod end, so if I do have any problems, it will fit. I can make it fit. Got a little tub of wheel bearing grease, handy to have. If you mix diff oil and stuff into your wheel bearings, you can repack them out on the track. I will buy a tub of molly grease. That is for CV ends. Same thing, mix diff oil into your molly grease, which then mixes into your wheel bearings. You got to do all the greases again, otherwise the grease is no good. I just use Penrite for pretty much everything. I've always liked Penrite. This may tell you what my occupation is, if you do not know what my occupation already is, but I carry a quantity of 100 batten screws, so roof batten screws. Just carry a little box of 100. You never know when you're going to need to screw something back together. It's the inner roofer coming out in me, but I can make these things do a lot if we really needed to. Trust me, I've had to put one into a battery terminal before to make the connection better on my battery. See? Brains. Double line pulley. It's a drifter one. It's a little alloy, little billet alloy one, I think. Haven't really had to use it much, but it's just a little pulley ring. I prefer them over the real big ones. Lightweight, small, takes up next to no room. Everything I buy is to try and take up as little room as possible, because as you can see, I don't have a whole heap of room now, and I also like to keep everything small and compact. I just don't want to chuck the whole house at it. These two right here, I got some JB Weld. This is a water weld. So this one is, it says it's fuel tanks, portable water tanks, you know, all that sort of stuff. It's just a precaution in case, put a hole in the fuel tank or something. You mix this together, putty it back up, get yourself home to get a new one. And then I've also got another JB Weld. This is a steel stick. So this one is for aluminium, brass, bronze, copper, iron, stainless. And this one is fiberglass, PVC, copper, brass, iron, aluminium. The reason I brought these is the main concern is if my fan hits the radiator, you're gonna have no radiator. And to get yourself off the track, putty the hole up the best you can. You may need to cut fins out. We've had to do it before, where we've cut fins out, crimped them, you heat them up with a lighter. Sometimes they burn themselves back together. You can solder it as well, and then you're just missing a couple of fins, but your radiator will still work and your car will still keep itself cool enough to get you home. Or you can putty them together and get yourself home. Once you get yourself home, then you can sort out a new radiator. You don't have to be looking and paying top dollar on the side of the track to get one. If you can get one cheap enough, get one, but this is an extra precaution. It's also way smaller than carrying a whole radiator. Now this little box here, another little container, it is like a full front swivel hub rebuild kit. It's got kingpin studs in it. I've got inner axle seals. I've got gaskets. I've got bearings. I've got the wipers on the back. I've got some axle studs. I even have a uni joint for a drive shaft. I've got a couple of those things. Now, a lot of those parts are actually thanks to Online Auto Parts, and then the inner axle seals are thanks to Superior. But this is just handy to have because you never know what you're going to destroy when you destroy a CV. It could potentially do a lot of damage, or it could potentially do not much. For the size of this box and the cost of this box, I'd rather carry this around and be able to drive home. I also have a spare spindle. I have destroyed a spindle before. I've munched the whole top end of it off. And lucky when I was on that trip, Kane had a spare spindle because he had one of these front swivel hub kits and brought some spindles. Online Auto Parts again. So I get pretty much all my spares on Online Auto Parts. One, they're cheap and affordable, and two, super simple to use. Delivery's quick, and you know what you get. Now, these two boxes here, because we are going to Tassie, certain tracks are renowned for killing alternators. So I've got a spare alternator and a spare starter motor. Two things that I would hate to be stuck on the side of the track and not have. So I've already just picked these up from Napa down in Fishwick, close to my house. Reasonably cheap. I know they're not genuine, and everyone would be like, you gotta go Denso. Denso is literally like 3 times the price to this alternator. These have 3-year warranty. I spoke to them about it, and they said, you just bring it back in and we'll determine there and then whether we give you a new one or we send it off to get checked and tested. Could be a pain, might not be a pain. To get myself out of trouble, I'd rather just carry these and save myself a bit of coin. We're not all millionaires at the end of the day. If this is Birdo, it's Birdo. Hello, mate.
What are you after?
I'm just filming a spares parts video. Finished talking to old Rexy boy. The reason he was calling is I'm leaving today. So I'm actually meeting up with him on the road, and then we're just gonna boot scoot together, stay overnight, and then head to the ferry tomorrow. And then last but not least, I got CVs. So I've got short and long side CVs. They're already packed full of molly grease. That's why I've got rags on them. 1, extra rags in the toolbox in case you've got to pull things apart. And then 2, I don't want the molly grease going everywhere. And then I've just taped it. And then same with the short side CV. Short and then long, I've just separated because it doesn't fit with the spur field on the end, but they're easy enough to put back together once they're in the car. Anyway, that pretty much runs through my spares, I believe. Now, you would have noticed a lot of it's front end. Rear ends in the 80 are pretty good, touch wood. Don't normally do much. I don't have wheel bearings yet or brake pads. The reason I don't have them, I've just literally redone all of them. They're pretty commonly stocked thing, wheel bearings and brake pads at most auto parts stores. So that's why I don't really pack them. That's our spares list. So if there's anything else that you guys know about with Land Cruisers or in general with cars that you think is worth taking, drop a comment down below. Well, I hope this video has given you guys a little bit of insight on spare parts that I carry for an 80 series. You could use this mostly over pretty much most model cars, but you will find the best way to work it out is getting on forums, getting on Google, and working out the parts that your car needs, because everyone's car has different weak points and different failures. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.